What's up, everyone? Back again with another update from the Belgian Grand Prix. We are at Spa. Just a reminder, so this is FP2 highlights. I'm going to keep this one brief, a lot shorter than the last one, because if you missed FP2 more than normal, you really didn't miss much. This is really that awkward one in between before we get over to FP3 and quali tomorrow, Saturday morning. So I'm going to keep this one short, so let's go through the short list. Let's just do the top 10. So we got the Ferraris are leading. The basic top lines are the Ferraris are leading again going into FP2. Again, no major issues. The session was actually red flagged because of the Perez's, like called a fire, a little tiny fire. It wasn't much, nothing too dangerous, but it did red flag the session with about a minute and a half left or so. So he's safe and everything. There's no big wreck. It was just like something in the back. But it does look like it's a pretty major engine malfunction. So that's a bummer to Racing Point, who Lance Stroll and Sergio are both in the top 9, I believe. So that's a bummer to them. But let's go through. So we've got Leclerc and Vettel, as mentioned. The Ferraris are leading. And you've got Leclerc at 144 spot 123 with Vettel just behind him, plus 0.630. Both of them actually went through 6 tires. So just keep that in mind. You've got both of the Mercedes behind them, and Valtteri getting the best of Lewis. After that, you've got, rounding out the top 5, Sergio Perez, as I mentioned, plus 0.994. So, again, he was having a really good day. I'm not sure how they're going to recover from this, but I believe he's on the new engine spec. So, that's interesting. And there's been a couple of the, I guess, not engine problems. Hamilton didn't have an engine problem. He was having a throttle problem. But there's a fair share of issues going around the grid. So we'll see how the teams, I'm not sure if anyone will actually get charged with working the overtime rule or anything like that, but I imagine there's going to be a fair deal of work going on across the grid for everyone's car. So from that perspective, it's interesting, but the rest of the free practice session was just riddled with some errors and some problems, but no major, crashes or anything like that. Verstappen in 6th, Kimi Räikkönen finishing the 7th spot. Lance Stroll in 8th. Again, he's looking good all weekend. Ricciardo in 9th and Alex Albon in 10th. That one makes more sense. Albon in 10th. Again, I tried not to get too excited in FP1 with Albon being so close to Verstappen, which Max has had his fair share of issues. He had his loss of power. He was in the garage for quite a while. He came out and ran a decent lap and then went right back in. So again, as mentioned, there's a lot of issues going around. But Alex Albon, he's trying to set he's already got his grid penalty, but he's trying to do his simulations. So he's not looking at one lap speed per se. And so speaking of race sims, and these are on the softs, I'll go through just very quickly, maybe even just the top, Mercedes and Ferrari. But Hamilton was lapping a 150.7 over 13 laps. Valtteri is in the same in the 150s on 9 laps. Leclerc only got about 3 laps in on the softs, but the point being, Mercedes looks a little bit better in terms of the all-around race pace, and it looks like Ferrari's just going to be better. Obviously, you would expect that on the straight line speed. So it doesn't really, if the Mercs, which they probably will, looking at these simulation times, if the Mercs end up getting pole, it's not really going to be terrible considering this is a 4.1 mile. This is the longest track on the grid, so longest track on the schedule. So it's going to be in Ferrari's favor. These long straights, we talked about it a few times, looking at these turns. Some of these turns, they're exiting going, 200 plus miles per hour. So long straights, long turns, a lot of DRS activity, and this is really going to favor Ferrari. So even if the Mercedes come out, and I expect them to have a huge Saturday, I think Ferraris are still in this, and I still think they're favored, and I think this is the race they need. And I definitely think Vettel more than anyone needs this, but I'd love to see Leclerc do well too. So all that said, a couple issues, major issues in terms of mechanical stuff. Max doesn't look particularly comfortable, but neither does Lewis Hamilton. But honestly, looking at how this year has gone, he never really looks that comfortable, at least in the past few races on Friday. So let's just see what happens. FP3 will be super telling, and I'll be here to give you the report on that. But FP2, nothing major happening. But just giving you guys the quick update. Keep it under 5 minutes. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you tomorrow.